Welcome to episode 179 of Silver Lining for Learning. I'm Yong Zhao. I'm a professor at the University of Kansas and the University of Melbourne. We have my co-host. We have Professor Chris Didi, who is a retired professor, I guess you want to say, a senior fellow at Harvard University. We have Kurt Bunk, who is a professor at Indiana University in Bloomington, who happens to be in a restaurant right now with friends, and don't seduce us with too much of your great food. In this episode, we are so fortunate to have teachers and students from Beijing and Chongqing, China. We have been trying to capture educational innovations that capitalizes on student voice. And this is one of such examples. So I'm not going to try to introduce them. I will let them introduce themselves. So why don't we get started with Mr. Hu Bo from Chongqing, number 8 schools. So Mr. Hu, please let us know who you are and the ICEE projects, and what do you think you've learned from that, and what else you want to share with us?
Thank you. Good morning from Chongqing, and happy Chinese New Year to all the distinguished experts and professors and my fellow teachers and dear students. It's early morning here in Chongqing, and it's getting a little bit chilly here. Okay, so keep warm, stay warm. Okay. I am an English teacher, and I have been teaching English for 11 years at Chongqing number 8 secondary school. And today I am very much honored to introduce my engagement into the ICE learning. Okay. As the name suggests, ICE learning aims at fostering students' innovation, creativity, as well as entrepreneurship. And today I'm going to highlight its profound impact on students' self-discovery, collaborative skills, and real-world problem-solving abilities. First of all, what impressed me most in this learning approach is that I have been witnessing students uncovering their own unique abilities and passions. For example, in a recent project, I gave my students the task to explore the disappearing trails here in our city, in Chongqing, with a very special emphasis on the preservation of our ancient town. Instead of following a traditional curriculum, I provided the students with the autonomy to choose whatever aspect that interested them the most within this broad theme. And as part of the project, each student conducted in-depth research on a particular facet of the ancient town, whether it is about historical landmarks, the traditional crafts, or the stories of local residents. Honestly speaking, by allowing the students to delve into topics that is aligned with their own individual interests, the project became a personalized journey of exploration and self-discovery. Okay, this is the first part. And another thing I want to mention is about the collaborative work in this ICE approach. I also want to share with you another example. In a recent project, the students in my class teamed up to create a website which aims to introduce Chongqing's most favorite cuisines. This collaborative initiative aimed not only to celebrate our city's food culture, but also emphasizes the importance of teamwork and shared learning. And students formed interdisciplinary teams. Each student will be focusing on a different aspect of Chongqing's diverse food culture. So this project showcased the students' strength from graphic design to research to something like storytelling, and encouraging both the inter and intra team collaboration. This project fosters a sense of community within the classroom. And one last thing I want to share this morning to start it off is ICE learning has been very important in developing the students' authentic problem-solving skills. For example, in a project centered around community issues, the students researched, interviewed, and proposed tangible solutions. And this actually gives the students the hands-on experiences, which is not only very important to deepen their understanding of real-world problems, but also empower our students to contribute significantly to their communities we are living together in. So it is very proud to see our students to embrace the challenges with resilience and also applying their critical thinking and creativity to come up with some very tangible solutions. So very quickly, I just want to make a summary. So I am very happy and honored to be a part of the ICE learning journey. And I have been witnessing that this kind of learning approach is actually functioning as a catalyst for the students to explore their strength, collaborate effectively, and also to develop the problem-solving skills that will be very important beyond the classroom. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Hu. And Ms. Gao, would you introduce yourself and talk about your work as well? Thanks, Mr. Hu. Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Gao.
Okay, of course. Good morning, everyone. Here I am in Anhui, China. It's my great honor to be here to share my experience of teaching Goko. If I understood Mr. Hu correctly, I think we are doing the same job, Goko, right? This program. And I'm from Beijing Academy, and my name is Gao Mengchan. First of all, I want to talk about why I was attracted by this program. I mean, Goko. I think the idea is really fancy, innovation, creativity, and entrepreneur education. I just want to see how innovative this course can be and how students can put it into practice of being an entrepreneur. On the other hand, cultivating innovative talents is really a hot topic for us. As an EFL teacher, I have been an EFL teacher for almost 7 years. I don't think we can make a great breakthrough within the language teaching framework, although I consider myself and my team innovative enough. We are doing many new things every day to design some new activities for students. So I take it as a precious opportunity for myself to get the first-hand experience of experimenting innovative course to build up my overall teaching confidence. Secondly, I want to introduce the products that my students have been making in the past semester. I have 19 students in my classroom, and they are team up into 4 groups. And all of them are grade 10 students. They are excellent students in terms of language competence and comprehensive ability. One group has made a series of postcards with an QR code and a specific picture printed on it. For example, one of the postcard is about Tang Hulu, or we say candied house skewers, which is the traditional Chinese food. On the postcard, you can see the picture of it, but if you scan the QR code, you may get the history behind it. You can get many stories about it. And also you can get the how you can pronounce it in Chinese. Another group has been making a series of pens embedding certain cultural relics on it. This group was inspired by the National Museum showpieces. They want to replicate some cultural elements from ancient China to the pens with brief introduction of it bilingually, Chinese and English. And the third group is more functional. Their product is a sharing cart targeted to customers who are shopping in the shopping mall. This product starts from a seasonal phenomenon. I bet everyone has similar experience that it is in winter, all of us wear very heavy coats, but it is much warmer inside the shopping mall. So most of the people have to take off the coats and wrap them on the arm, which causes inconvenience for the shoppers. And the fourth group provides a kind of service. I choose this group as a representative as it grows from a struggling process. It is their entrepreneur spirit that supports them to overcome their problems, and they fully exerted their intellectual property to design some strategies. And my student, Alan, will go into details about this service. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Gao, for explaining that. And so we have students, and this is a brief introduction to the program. And who wants to go? Maybe I just go pick with Hannah. Hannah, do you want to go first? Just introduce yourself and your experiences. Thank you.
Well, Yeah, well, hi, I'm Hannah from Chongqing, and I had a 3-year ICE studying experience when I was at junior high school, and from which, for the first time, I was introduced to unconventional education. I'll just take it brief because I hadn't kind of take this kind of courses for about 2 years, and so it's rare to use electronic equipment on classes for middle school students, and especially in the city I live, where educational innovation isn't so common. So when I first knew about ICE program, I was kind of confused and resistive. But however, after studying with the international students and teachers for about a term, I felt like it was opening the gate of unknown. So to be honest, I can say that this kind of courses improved my lingual ability a lot, since English is just a tool instead of the main content in our class. But it did expand my horizons and strengthen my comprehensive skills. And it's beneficial to the rest of my life, I can guess. For example, I trained my confidence and just I can express myself more fluent. And as acknowledged, educational innovation is a complicated topic because I think you have to stand in different shoes to think as a student, a teacher, and a parent. And English classes that I'm taking now are mainly aimed at getting higher scores in the entrance exam, and my spoken English wasn't so fluent, I guess, because I really don't have chances to express myself in classes so much. But anyway, we can compare traditional English classes with ICE classes because the latter one is not targeted to teach us academic knowledge. And besides, ICE courses can relieve our stress because students are encouraged to convey our original thoughts without worrying about being criticized. It is interesting that a class can display the same atmosphere or function as some after-class activities. So, in a word, though this kind of innovation classes and conventional classes have different objectives, which determines their different teaching method, I still hope the former one can be applied in our conventional teaching. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Your English is great. And by the way, we should all be aware, all our guests today are speaking a second language. So thank you for doing this. This is it's quite amazing because you are still you're in high school now, right, Hannah?
Yeah.
So you're still very early. So thank you very much. Alan, can we come to you?
Yes. So I would say like good night, everyone, because it's the nighttime in Montreal, Canada. And so
Are you in Montreal?
Yes, I'm in Montreal for the vacation.
That's very cold. Okay.
Yes, it's very cold. So my name is Alan, and I come from the Beijing Academy, and I'm currently in the 10th grade. So I'm very honored to have this opportunity to share my experience and learn from all the distinguished professors here. So I will introduce my project. So I won't say what it is at first, because I want to make a little surprise. So at the inception of this project, it was motivated by an interview with my school's foreign teacher, Michael. So following this interview, I was compelled to address the needs of foreigners residing in the China. So particularly in providing solutions to their personal inquiries in daily life, so such as facilitating salary transfers to foreign accounts. So furthermore, our online survey revealed a significant interest among foreigners in Chinese culture, so prompting us to incorporate cultural exchange into our initiative. So our project named BAID Helping Foreigners, and our project encompasses a WeChat group comprising the volunteers and the foreigners. So our primary objectives include addressing inquiries from the foreigners and share Chinese culture. And the membership are not only my classmates, but also the students from other schools. And presently, our WeChat group accommodates approximately 18 foreigners. So to recruit participants, we initially used the Haggle Talk to connect with the individual's interest in Chinese culture and currently a resident in China. And over the course of a semester, we encountered numerous challenges. However, we patiently searched for the solution step by step and finally yielded favorable outcomes. And so we help them solve many everyday problems, such as which software to use to order food or to answer their travel questions. So I believe that all these have provided them with great help, and I think that meet my expectation about this project. And our commitment to this initiative remains unwavering. So as our membership approaches I would say 50 or to 60 individuals. So we aspire to organize an offline exchange meeting to enhance our project's social impact. So this stands as our ultimate goal. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. I think you may still be going, trying to recover from jet lag, right? You know, this is it's challenging. And are you learning French there now? You know, you're in Montreal. Are you learning some French?
Yes, you're right. Like there are a lot of things, like a lot of residents in here just speak French, and no offense, but I think their English level isn't really well, so it's hard for me to communicate.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Alan. And Jerry, can you introduce yourself and the project and what you're doing, what you've learned?
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and all my fellows. I'm so happy to get into such an important campaign. Although you have said that we have to be casual, so I'm not going to be that formal. So I've been participating in ICE program for 4 years since junior high, and I'm now a senior high school student, and I think that's what make me different because I have still choose the ICE program when I get into the senior high school. And actually, I just wake up 30 minutes ago. That means I only prepare for such a meeting. I haven't even get an hour to prepare for it. Because I just come back from Hong Kong last night. It's a late plan, and and I just get to sleep at about 3 a.m. this morning, so I get a bit tired. But it's okay. It's all okay because I'm excited right now. All right. So we all know that ICE stands for Innovation, Creativity, and Entrepreneurship Education. I think that's very familiar to all of you guys. But I'm trying to lay emphasis on these differences of this course between the junior high time and the senior high time. And like what Hannah has said, that we use a lot of electronic devices in the junior high school time, and that's the same for the senior high school. And I remember in the junior high, we many well do some like website making things, and we are sometimes just doing all the things on iPad and give a presentation as a final of the term. But when I came to the senior high time, I find everything have changed. Like we because the time of it, the time of the course is shorter, so we will mainly focus on the theory, some theory learning, and the teaching time is shortened, so we will use more time on product making. And take my group as an example. We are starting. Actually, it's a very cool but kind of unique topic. We are trying to study the future of the Chinese conventional education, and we compare it to the ICE education, and we are trying to find all the disadvantages and advantages, and just try to meld it together and investigate. And our thought is that we are going to create a social media account online and just make a lot of videos about our own thoughts. So this year we pay a lot of attention to making video. Actually, I'm a very I'm a very keen photographer. So that's what I want to do actually. And all my classmates just become a crew, and we are going to make something like a real filmmaker. It's very funny. So I think that's a very different one compared to the junior high, because we are really creating something. We are really creating something physically with our hand, with our camera. So that's what really draw me exciting. And I think that's why I want to say about the differences between junior high and senior high of the ICE education. And although I'm facing the Gaokao as Hannah or some other students in this education system of the China, but I think I'm still very lucky to spare some time on such a very meaningful education. I think it's worth it. Right, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. I know it's very hard without much sleep. Okay, coming back from Hong Kong. So I think as all of you mentioned, I mean, we should be just a little bit of context. You know, China is a very much test-driven country. The Gaokao drives everything. So this kind of innovation is very difficult. I'm glad we have teachers and students to do this. You know, any time away from preparing for the Gaokao or any test is very hard. So this is extremely difficult, and you know, that's why we're featuring this in this from China. Kurt, you had a question.
Yes, I did. And we just got a note from Punya, who's had an emergency, and he'll be joining us.
He has joined us already.
Okay, great with Punya. So this is episode 179, Innovation, Creativity, Entrepreneurship, Education, Experience of Chinese Students in Beijing and Chongqing. Welcome, everyone. Dr. Chris Dede is with us, Punya Mishra is with us, Young Zhao is with us. I'm Kurt Bong from Indiana. Chris is from Harvard, Young is from Kansas and Melbourne, and Punya is from Arizona State. We are amazed at what you guys are all doing. As you were discussing, as you're talking about what's happening, especially Bo, especially Ms. Gao, I was writing some notes and I was saying, we've had, you know, many different episodes where people, I mean, we've had 179 so far, and I probably have had 100 episodes of those talking about principles of learning, principles of instruction that engage students in different ways. And so, you know, Bo, you were talking about authenticity of learning, collaboration in learning. Someone else was talking about, Hannah was talking about having perspective taking, and confidence as a learner. And you were talking about project-based learning and hands-on learning, all these principles. So my two-part question for all of you, for the instructors as well as the students, is what has transitioned, what has worked so extremely well in these that you were surprised it worked so well? You were amazed that it was seamless, that people took on something you thought was kind of radical, difficult, that students would kind of have hesitancies to do. But actually, when you did it, whatever the project was, there weren't those barriers or challenges. The students just jumped in. But there might be other times in which the barriers still exist. So I'm kind of curious whether any of you could talk about what kinds of things have you been doing that you enjoyed, that have happened, that are seamless, that are unexpected, spontaneous, joyful, blissful kind of experiences, just something that makes you happy and wanting to be an instructor or be a student. But what are those things that didn't? That there's still some hesitation, there were still some dilemmas, it's still some hesitation in the system. So I'm curious on both ends. What were the high successes and blissful moments, and what are still the challenges that you're facing? Any of you can jump in on that. Thank you.
I'm happy to answer this question. And
good, because I had you in mind, Bo. But all of you had in mind.
Thank you, Professor Kurt. So I just want to talk about the learning autonomy a little bit, okay? And that's really impressed me a lot, okay? Because, you know, I have been a the so-called traditional English teacher in the classroom for 8 years. And after that, I just transformed myself into an ICE teacher. And, you know, in the traditional classroom, the students are actually conducting the passive learning, where the teachers assign all the assignments to the students, and the students are sitting there and listening to the teacher to do the exercises to consolidate what they have been taught. But in ICEE approach, this is a very different situation where the students get their autonomy to, for example, to identify what really interests them. And you know what? That really impressed me a lot. For example, just now I mentioned the students were actually in one project expected to find out one disappearing treasure in our city, which is worth protecting. And you know what? The students just brought out their potentials and just get very crazy, very eager to explore and express what they think should be protected. And you know what? That is actually beyond our expectation. Even though along this way, we will meet some challenges. For example, the so-called teaching or learning time is limited, but the students can just not stop themselves from exploring. And that is something really, really worth mentioning here. Okay.
All right, so I will go next. I think as a coincidence, I will use a similar word with Mr. Hu Bo. And I want to use high autonomous to describe this project, my Glocal class, from a teacher's perspective. Firstly, as a teacher, I have to adapt the teaching materials to cater to my students. Some of the materials have been given ahead, some PPT or some teaching materials, but they are designed for another group of students with different age, different ability, and different language proficiency. So it requires me to be a course adapter. So this is number one. I have to be autonomous enough. And secondly, as an experimenter, I have to watch out for students' progress, where they are heading for, and what they expect. I have to take all of it into account and provide necessary support or guidance for them. For example, as planned in advance, we may do some survey about tourism in different cities, in different countries. However, my students can't wait to start their own project after 1 month's discussion about what is a city, what makes a city, or what makes a city special. So I changed the original plan right away and transferred autonomy to my students. And now I realize that this might be the starting point of a real Glocal class. Students stepped into the independence from then on. And thirdly, I think the evaluation form can be various. It is not a pen and paper test. Students may write a business plan, or do some presentation on their product, or write up a customer feedback summary. So it takes a flexible form of evaluation. On the flip side, I want to say it is really challenging, and I prefer to use high uncertainty to describe it. First, I feel uncertain about whether I am on track, whether what I have been doing meets Glocal requirement. After all, this is the first time that I try it. Here, I want to say thank you to Ms. Wang Yu and Mr. Mark. Mark discussed with me weekly in the first month to assure me that I'm doing well. And Ms. Wang Yu constantly came to my class to do the observation, feeding into some help and guidance. She also contacted someone professional to come to my classroom to help the students. Thank you very much. Secondly, I feel uncertain because I don't know what product students are going to make, what problems they will encounter, and how capable I am to provide critical help for them. But gradually, I found out that this is where real learning emerges for both my students and myself. We become more open to the uncertainty, and we bravely embrace the unexpected challenges ahead. And I feel this is a true value of this course, to make us a real entrepreneur, or at least we have some entrepreneur-alike spirit. Thank you.
I think I will go next. Because I just have a strong same feeling about the Mrs. Gao, and because I think our group project is really innovative, and so we face so many challenges. So at first, because our project is aimed to help the foreigners living in China and the foreigners who interest about the Chinese culture. So I mean, like this kind of people is hard to get or hard to know. So we took a lot of time to like on the Hug Talk to talk with them. Like if this guy's name Mary and we just like send him message like hi Mary and to talk with him or talk with her like to ask him or her if she or he is interested in Chinese culture. So we spend a lot of time, and also we need to learn other subjects, and we have a strong like study pressure, but we just do it. And also another challenge is that when we gather like 15 foreigners, and so we try to do the cultural sharing and to want to answer them question, but actually at first they ask us a lot of questions, but then suddenly it just stops. So we just feel like really frustrating because after our cultural sharing, there's no response, or say it's a lot of for like a week, there's nobody asks questions. So our groups just seems nobody say something. So we're just really frustrating. But as a team, we find a lot of solution, like to invite other come to this group and to make an example, and or just keep do the culture sharing. And so I want to thank you, the Mrs. Gao and teacher Wan Yu and the Mark, because they helped our project a lot. And finally the challenge is that because we keep do that for a semester, and with the final exam coming, so we have this like study pressure, and we need to spend a lot of time for the final review. So that means like we do have a time, don't answer the question timely, and don't give the response, and like the culture sharing is always late. So we just find other solution is post want to recruit some volunteers. So I just post that on the Xiaohongshu, which is an application in China. And so I just feel like the Google class is just, we are all the entrepreneur, and so we faced a lot of challenges, but we never complain because we are a team, and we just patiently find the solution step by step. And yeah, that's how.
So you know what? I just wanna add something here. I know that Alan, you are in Montreal right now. Yes or no? Yeah, and you just reminded me of my experience back like 12 years ago when I was in Montreal. Okay, I still remember the vivid images. Okay, the experiences that I had gone through like 12 years ago. That is the year of Dragon as well, right? So this just reminds me of how important it is to just give our students the chances to experience something that will stay in their mind for a lifelong time, right? So after all these years, the knowledge that we force into our brain, our mind will just go away, but the memories, the experience will stay there for a long time. Yes or no? Yeah. So, and that's what is very valuable about ICE program, to provide our students with the very valuable experiences to cherish.
So, Chris, do you want to jump in with your question? Time is running out so fast, and now, so yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Yes, well, I have more of a comment than a question, and I want to build on what you said about high stakes tests. Of course, the Gaokao is really important in China, but every country in the world has too much fascination with high stakes tests, including the United States. And what's ironic is that there is no country in the world where you can get a job taking tests. I guarantee you, if you graduate and you look for job listings, I'm looking for a great test taker with perfect scores to take tests for my company. There is no such job. There's a lot of jobs for creativity, entrepreneurship, innovation, but not for test taking. And what underscores that even more now is that artificial intelligence is really good at high stakes tests, because high stakes tests are typically based on what's called reckoning, calculative prediction. And what human beings do that AI can't is judgment, which is like practical wisdom, the kinds of things you learn about innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. So it's terrific that your teachers and you are actually preparing yourselves for life, because you're going to spend most of your time in life, not in classrooms. And a lot of the students who do really well on tests will be sorry that they didn't have the kind of experiences that you had. That said, I can imagine that you're swimming against the tide and that you have to sort of balance doing well enough on the tests with doing your work with entrepreneurship. But I think history is on your side, especially in the era of artificial intelligence. Are any of you using AI as part of the projects that you're doing within this program?
Let's see if Jerry, Alan, Hannah, the students, have you guys been using artificial intelligence AI tools?
I need to be on.
Oh, sorry, Alan. After you.
Oh, sorry. I need to be honest. Like our project do use the AI because, as I mentioned, I mean, like we are not have the great level of English, so sometimes we need to like use AI to translate or to make our sentence like more clear, to make sure they understand what we are going to say. And also, like because we are want to doing the culture sharing, because like we want to cherish the time, we want to save the time. So, I think it's a little like waste time to search the picture or the information on the internet. So sometimes we just like to ask AI to give us some professional website, and we use that professional website to gather the useful information. So yeah, that's all.
So actually, I'm a really big fan of AI. Although in China we can't use any kind of thing like ChatGPT 4. It's a bit sad that we can't use it. But I just went to Hong Kong, so the last week I know. Those most time I use ChatGPT just for chat, as the name of it. I just chat with it because I can't find the one to accompany me. But when it really comes to something academical, I can really take the use of the AI well. Like I like to use it to expand the text. Because sometimes I haven't write down enough things, so I use ChatGPT. Like, can you please expand it for me as a student who is giving a speech to all the teacher, and it can correct my like grammar error or some other things. So I think that's very useful of it, and I think AI is really a very important trend of the future. Like just days ago, the Apple just give its new product, the Apple Vision Pro, and it's a very nice VR, and I really sort of see the future of it, and because you can already see a lot of people wearing the VR glasses on the streets of New York City, and because it only sells on the Fifth Avenue of the New York City, so you can only see that in the New York. And AI is a very important part of the VR equipment. So I'm really wondering that whether the AI can change our world both online and in the real world. And one of my best friends just talked with me days ago that she want to get a job in the future about the AI or the VR, and sorry, and I'm really interested in it as well. So I've been thinking about it all the time, and maybe I will study physics in the future and just get my own distribution into it. Yes.
May I say something?
Go ahead, please.
Well, I'm sorry that my cat keep stepping on my table. Yeah, and what I want to say is that I didn't have chance to use AI because there's no such things 2 years ago, and we can't use them to finish our homework now because we spend almost our whole week in a school and we don't have chance to use our smart devices. But what I want to stress is that we are talking about using artificial intelligence to help us do creative works, but some of them are actually stealing others' creative thoughts. Well, for example, like AI painting, they're actually using others' pictures. And well, I guess someone use AI to just to relax themselves, like chatting with the robot or and so on. But I think it's a kind of a philosophy question about can we use them in our creative working or not, because it is kind of AI is learning from human beings, but whether they have their own thoughts, we it's still a question we need to be explored. And I remember that we sometimes use artificial intelligence to record some videos reading our text when I was taking this kind of courses. And that's not kind of AI, because they're just reading you the things you write instead of writing for you. Well, I do some paintings my own, so I am kind of I don't support using AI to paint for us. So I wonder if we can use them to do more creative work, such as they can paint on their own instead of pasting others' pictures together to create work. Well, thank you. That's all.
So I'm just curious, and I'm sorry I was late joining in. Just like your cat is jumping all over, my dog ate something and I got worried and ran him to the vet. He's fine, everything's fine, but I got late, so I apologize for that. So just sticking with this AI, so are there any versions of or kinds of large language models that are used in China that are accessible, or there is nothing like that, like ChatGPT or there's so many of those right now. I wonder if there are ones in China that are accessible as well.
So we have some models, but it's not that as good as ChatGPT, and I'm sure for sure it's charged. So I prefer to use ChatGPT, but it's not accessible.
Okay. No,
so
I was just curious
I can
about
use
that.
the worst one.
Because I tried to do a translation of a piece that I had written into Chinese, and I did a back translation, and GPT did not do a very good job of translating, because the original, when it came back to English, it was quite garbled. It did pretty good with like Spanish and Portuguese, because I had them checked by fluent speakers, and they said, yeah, this is a pretty good translation. But in Claude and ChatGPT did not do a very good job. So I don't think the training, like I tried Bengali. Bengali was really bad, which means that it had not been trained on large language sets. But I think, Hannah, the point that you made, I really want to sort of reinforce that, which is that there is this huge ethical issue with these models on what they have been trained on. And, there's a huge case that the New York Times has filed currently. And there is, those are, I think, important issues that we need to be thinking about. In fact, I just wrote a blog post today. I want to drop here. I'm not want to get into that right now, but you might enjoy reading that, because I find, in brief, what I said is, like, if I have to do a research study as an academic, if I have to interview somebody, I have to go through institutional review to determine whether I'm allowed to do that or not. And OpenAI basically did a global experiment on human beings with no concern about authorship, ownership, intellectual property, nothing, right? So I just find that extremely interesting.
So I was wondering if anyone has any reaction what Punya said. AI is very big in China. As I was talking to someone said that everybody is teaching someone about AI, but no one actually knows what the heck that is. It's so new, right? Everybody's offering courses, having conferences. Have you noticed that everybody's writing? But it's so new. I think here the only person who's done AI for a long time is Professor Chris Diddy. Chris, you've probably been involved in true AI work for much longer than most of everybody here, right?
Yes, but of course I've been around for much longer than everybody too, so I've had some advantages in that. So I think I'd be interested in what our students plan to do when they get to college, wherever they go to college. What are you thinking of majoring in? What kind of activities and courses are going to be really exciting for you to take? Tell us about your plans and your dreams.
Anyone can start. Don't worry. Hannah, go ahead.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you. But for me, it's really important question because I am really confused about what I am going to do in the rest of my life. Because sometimes, I mean, for teenagers, you just have some thoughts, creative thoughts, like thinking about becoming a singer or becoming an author, or kind of. My mom advised me that I can study about economy or something in college, because she thinks I can handle math, but I don't think so actually. Yeah, and I just don't know what I mean, first I should have my favorite job or something, and then I can choose what I'm going to learn in my college. But well, personally, I don't have this kind of dreams or else. I mean, when I was young, I want to write something. I mean, do some creative works by writing or by painting, because I know that I just want to express myself. But I think it's hard to. I mean, it's it's I mean, it's hard to feed yourself by writing things in modern society, and maybe I have to find a job in a company or something else. I mean, I don't want to do that, but I simply just don't know what can I do else instead of doing that. So when I was in high school, and I mean, physics in high school is really hard. This subject is really hard, and I kind of have some interest in it. But finally, I didn't choose to learn physics because it's really hard, and my teachers advised me not to choose that. So I'm studying history, politics, and biology now. And I mean, I like these subjects, but I don't know which I can choose to be a job that I'm going to do in the rest of my life. Perhaps I still want to write something or paint something, just express myself, like doing my own, I mean, writing books or creating my own stories, or even directing films, kind of like that. But maybe I still have to discuss about this question in the rest year, or yeah. Thank you.
So I really want to share something about it. You know, sorry for my review. So it's really interesting. You know, last day I was on my phone, doing some like TikTok thing, and I saw a comment really interesting, and that guy said in 2005, because of something accidentally, he went to a university and chose a major of computer science. And you know, at that time, 2005, it's not that popular and no one knows about it. And when he knew the news, his family just get shocked, because what is that subject? Something like that. But even right now, 2023, the computer science, IT, AI, it's just like a bomb and just explode, all the time, and it's very popular. You can make money everywhere, and so it's very talking about your dream, talking about your job, you really don't know what you want to choose because actually you are money driven. I think I only want to make money actually, and I want to make something for the human as well. But at least I need to get paid and to raise my family to get a baby and something like that. So it's a really realistic problem actually. But I'm still want to chase my dream. Like in the past, I want to know something about the space flights and aviation. But actually, such a job you can find a good job in China for it because like the Boeing company, the Airbus is not in China, and so you can earn a lot of money in that in China if you choose the subject of it. And so right now I'm wondering whether I can choose the business and the finance. So just a week ago I went to the Hong Kong and go to HKU for a course of the business and finance, and I find it's not for me because there is still a lot of formula equations to get the money calculated, and you got to estimate the stocks in the bonds and all the coupons. I don't know about that. It's complicated. And I don't know how to earn money between all the numbers and line, all the graph, all the chart. It's hard to make money in that. I'm not the Warren Buffett. So I'm still very puzzled right now about the job choosing. But I really want to go to some big company in the world, some science company like the Apple, the Microsoft, the Google. I really want to have a chance to maybe work in the Wall Street or the Silicon Valley. They're really valuable experiences if I have a chance to go there. And I think the salary of it is good as well. Yes. Thanks.
I also have something to share. And so at first, I strongly agree with Jerry because like I used to want to be a basketball player because I'm deeply passionate about playing basketball, but just like it was my middle school, but finally I realized that I'm not strong enough and I'm not tall enough and I don't have a much talent on the playing basketball, and so like I was really confused of what can I do, and because I'm good at physics and mathematics, so my parents like just advised me to do some job related to the engineering or for my major in college. But finally, I just found that the economy is really interesting. So I just think maybe my college major can be the sport economy. So because I can't be a basketball player, but I insist watching the NBA games every day, and so I got a lot of knowledge about the NBA history and NBA players, about their stories, and yeah. So I think I need to chase a job that which is I truly passionate about it, and also I think the sport economy, the job related to that, the salary is really it's really high. So I just want to chase that for my major of the college. And also like I just I want to share my dream school is Duke because their sports is really good. Like the Kyrie Irving and Jason Tatum is all from that great university. Yeah, that's all.
So this is super interesting, Alan. My son also played basketball in high school, and is good with numbers. And one of the jobs that bunch of jobs that he interviewed for was to be a data analyst for a basketball team. So he interviewed with a whole bunch of NBA teams. He interviewed with the Phoenix Suns. He interviewed with the Lakers. Then finally, he ended up doing something else. But that's sort of interesting that you have a similar interest because he does like he's very good with like data visualization. So he would make these data visualizations where you could match up any player with any other player. on a and you can pull down the name and it'll tell you how good this matchup is in terms of points, what value a player brings to the team when they're on the field. Because some players have negative value. They might score a lot, but they don't do defense, so the other team scores on them. And so it was fascinating, and I learned a lot just watching him talk about that stuff. So that's a very interesting overlap there.
Punya, this is
sorry.
great. Actually, I know others may have comments. I actually was wondering, after hearing the Chinese students' thoughts about their college, I was wondering, Chris and Kurt, what kind of comments you may have? We've never done that. Chris, you've been in higher education your life, God, for a long time, and all of us actually have been in this for a long time. What's your reaction to this?
Well, first, I think that picking something that you're passionate about and basing your life on that is absolutely the best thing to do. People are going to live a long time, and there'll probably be several things that you're passionate about and several kinds of careers that you can have that are based around those things. I think what college people go to is overemphasized. I think that you don't have to go to an elite college in order to be a success in life. And you can find plenty of people who went to elite colleges who didn't do anything with their lives. So the important thing isn't the college you go to or the professors you have, it's what you make of your own destiny.
Thanks, Chris. So remember, passion and what you got to be passionate about, what you try to do. So Hannah and Jerry, you guys, Alan, you're all talking about that. Kurt, what advice you might have for our students and other students who are?
There's three P words: passion, purpose, and play. You gotta have some fun, right? But you gotta like what you're doing. But you have to feel like there's a sense of purpose. You're helping someone. Mention that. One of you mentioned, feel like you're helping someone out within your respective occupations, and that's what makes life meaningful. You guys both talk about authenticity. There's authenticity in our job pursuits, right? Being true to yourself, being true to your core of what you are and what you believe in and what you think is the best way in which others can take advantage of the learning opportunities in front of them. So I'm going to flip this around and just ask real quickly if anyone for 15 seconds wants to respond to this. What's missing? We're talking about a new type of learning, a new era of learning. What would you like to see added to make it happen? Is there anything you want, like a new AI bot to come out with that would enable you to do something you can't do right now? Just one or two of you, does anyone have anything that they would like to see, that they're hopeful for their own learning pursuits? That's another P word, pursuits. Hannah, what do you think?
Well, I guess I know that we can't just study for college or something else, and I know it's gonna be changed. And so what I'm going to do, as a Chinese, maybe I have to kind of work in the government to make some changes, maybe. But maybe we can, changes should happen in high schools, I guess. So am I going to be a high school teacher? Maybe not that simple. Or maybe I should invent some tools for us to learn better. Or I don't think I can finish that by writing a book. And I don't think I can finish that by telling my own stories. That's too simple. We have to make some real changes. I can't get the answer in a second, maybe, but maybe it's from the top. From the top. We should change from the teacher or from the policies or something else. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you join the government and make change happen. Maybe we have time for one more of you to answer this question. Well, then we have to cut off for the next show, I think.
Sorry, Kurt. I think we have to cut off.
Okay.
Well, thank you, all of you, Mr. Hu, Ms. Gao, and we have Jerry, Anna, and Hannah. And Chris will introduce next episode. Chris, go ahead.
So I want to thank you as well and wish you every success in your future life. And happy Spring Festival. Next week, we will have a show at 10 a.m. and we will be looking at a major report that came out from UNESCO a few months ago about the use of technology in Southeast Asia, in that whole region, and 3 of the major challenges that technology has to overcome if it's going to be a positive force in those countries. So I hope you'll tune in and